Alright, so let's get this out of the way first. No, this is not clickbait, this is not a clone or reproduction. This is an actual Belgian FN FAL. Now obviously, the FAL was never imported into the United States for the sale to civilians, so how did I get this one here? Well, 3 years ago, FN USA actually hosted a sweepstakes for the opportunity to purchase one of 400 decommissioned FAL parts kits from Belgium. These rifles were initially issued to the Belgian Gendarmerie. Now, we don't have an equivalent to this in the United States, but imagine a branch of the military that performs police type duties, anything from dealing with riots, civil unrest, to counterterrorism. In the 1980s, the Gendarmerie replaced all of their FAL and traded them back into FN. So there they sat for the next 40-ish years until just recently when they decided to sell these as parts kits here in the United States. When you purchase a parts kit, it's really just that. It is a cardboard box that is full of miscellaneous parts, and unless you build guns for a living, you probably don't know what most of the parts are. By law, they cannot import the upper receiver, which is serialized, or the barrels. Like most people, I had the very difficult decision trying to decide which upper receiver to build this gun on. A lot of people like the Imbel Brazilian imported receivers because they are forged and therefore a lot more durable. So I was initially going to go that route. After talking to my FAL builder, I decided to go with a DS Arms forged receiver, and the next day I actually got a call from them. The guys at DS Arms said, hey, what FAL are you building? Because we kind of looked at the parts on your order and we think that you might be building one of these FN parts kits. And I told them that I was. They said that we have a upper receiver that is going to be much more authentic and true for a build that you want to be like 100% original. So of course I had to do that. They have a receiver here that has all the correct Gendarmerie markings. All of the serial number markings and engravings are inside the mag well, and then anything that is Gendarmerie related is engraved correctly on the exterior of the receiver. The only thing it is missing is the engraving that says Fabrique Nationale d'Armes, and that would normally be right up here. They cannot engrave that due to copyright with FN. So this is as close as you're going to get to a all original Belgian FAL. And obviously you have to deal with compliance of US parts and things like that. I chose not to replace certain things like the handguards and other furniture, which people usually do replace. The muzzle device, all of that is original, so I wanted to make this as authentic as possible. So in this parts kit, we have this factory sling, and this muzzle device is the original muzzle device. And you get this bayonet, which just slides on, it locks in place, and then to remove it, you just pull on these tabs and it comes right back off. That is a super nice design. It might be the best bayonet design that I've personally ever seen. Factory bayonet. Unfortunately, I'm not a huge FAL expert, so that's as much as I'm going to dive into all of the history and the background of these specific kits. But Ian from Forgotten Weapons has a really great video on the Gendarmerie FAL if you're interested in hearing more about that. But I'm going to go over the manual of arms here, and then we're going to do some shooting. So for most of us coming from the manual of arms from an AR, this is going to be very different, but the magazine is inserted the top corner at an angle and you rock it back into place. It has a nice solid satisfying click there. It was designed just for right-handed shooters. So with your trigger finger, there is a tab right in front of the trigger guard, and you just push that forward, the magazine rocks forward and it comes right back out. There's obviously no ambi safety selector, and we have S for safe and R for repeat. There is an A for full auto, which of course we cannot have. So the tab right here is your bolt catch, so you will push up on that. So if I pull the bolt back and push that up, it will catch the bolt. And then to drop it, You just push down on that, and this gun is still relatively low round count, so it's pretty stiff to do that, but I think I can pretty much do it with 1 digit at this point. And up here we have your adjustable gas block. The ergonomics of this are really nice. That the gun is just super smooth to shoot, even compared to a SCAR 17. It's actually really light recoil, and even though this weighs more than a naked SCAR, it actually feels lighter because the weight is more biased towards the rear, and the SCAR has that huge reciprocating bolt with all that mass and weight up at the front. This barrel is really all of your weight at the front, and it's super thin profile, and yeah, it's just a really great handling gun. If you're just going to run it with the iron sights as intended, these are very handy battle rifles, and this is what comes to mind when I think of a battle rifle. Nimble, but can definitely reach out. Definitely something that I would go out and shoot if you ever have the opportunity to, and just go into it with an open mind, understanding that it's not going to be the controls you're used to, but you can definitely adapt, and once you do, you'll have a lot of fun just trying something a little bit different. So if you made it to the end of the video, I really appreciate you guys checking this out, and hopefully you enjoy this rifle as much as we do. With that, I also have to say a massive thank you to my friend Ryan for making this possible. It was actually his name that was drawn for the FAL parts kits and not mine. Ryan served in the Navy. He did deployments in Iraq and Afghanistan, and when he was transitioning back to civilian life, he adopted a Boston Terrier named Remy. All these years later, Remy had recently passed away, and firearms were just not something that was a priority for him at the time. So I ended up purchasing the parts kit and had this gun built. It is what we call Remy's legacy, the Remy rifle, and it is thanks to him that I got this kit, that I had the opportunity to get this built, and ultimately it will end up going back to Ryan. For the time being, while I have it, I definitely have to show it off and show you guys shooting it, because this really is just a super smooth, really sweet rifle. And like I said, if you ever have an opportunity to shoot this, or even a DS Arms or any parts kit build, I would definitely recommend it. These rifles are really just something special, and if you're a big fan of battle rifles, I have another parts kit build that may be coming in the future, so definitely stay around for that. And thanks for checking this out.